Good afternoon, everyone. I see some relatives sitting in the room, so I'm bound by a short custom. My name is Justin Baker. My grandparents are Clyde, Inez Baker, Pansy Parshall, and Oklahoma Peg. I'm a Rikara, Mandan, and Hidadza, a child of the Lokat clan and a Prairie Chicken clan member, as well as a direct descendant of the Hushka band. My name, Ikiru Yiddish, looks back, was given to me by the late John Yellowwolf. I stand before you today not just to talk about programs or statistics, but to talk about healing, about a community choosing life, hope, dignity for our people. On the Fort Berthold Reservation, we carry generations of trauma. We've been scarred by systemic neglect, by poverty, by addiction, and yet today we are witnessing something powerful, transformation. Through the MHA Sober Living and Behavioral Health Supportive Housing programs, we are not just treating addiction, we are rewriting the story. We are reclaiming our people. Addiction in Native communities is not just a health issue, it's a wound born of colonization, historical trauma, continued disinvestment in our lives. Native Americans have the highest rates of substance use disorders in the United States. Nearly 1 in 10 Native American, Alaska Native adults struggles with addiction, as well as 1 in 5 children battle substance use. And this year in 2025, we still lead the nation in opioid overdose death rates. But these aren't just numbers. I know, because I am one of them. I suffered through addiction. I walked through homelessness. I've made phone calls for help and no one has answered. Until May 17, 2016, the day I chose sobriety. My healing began and I found purpose in helping others. Behind every number is a story. Our son lost a fentanyl, a mother rebuilding her trust, an elder raising a second generation because her child didn't survive. But we are more than our pain, we are perseverance. So what did we do in the face of this pain? We created a space for recovery. Sober living homes are not just housing, they're holy lodges. A return to tradition. Once across these very lands, my ancestors built villages of earth lodges, some just hundreds of yards from here. And at their center stood the Medicine Lodge, the heart of the people, the place of healing. That spirit is what inspired the name MHA Sober Lodge, because what we see there every day is nothing short of miraculous. In these homes, men and women support each other like relatives. The staff mentor, teach, and guide. Healing just doesn't happen here, it's expected. And the numbers prove it. People in sober living programs are twice as likely to stay clean. One study found 94% of those who completed sober living remain sober long term. But in our nation, it goes deeper. Let me tell you what sober living really looks like in our communities. Because it's not just about staying clean, it's about reintroducing them to our way of life. Just the other day, our MHA Sober Living guests helped a local Sundance by assisting with a buffalo kill. Something that may happen multiple times throughout this time of the year. And they didn't hesitate. They showed up in service and humility. Our guests build sweat lodges in our communities, build fire for other sweat lodges in our communities, assist in ceremonies, cut wood, collect rocks for other ceremonies. They have started drum groups. The women have picked up their shawls and welcomed home veterans again. Our women's lodges have started gardens. And many have begun walking a ceremonial way of life for the first time in their lives. They are not just learning to live without drugs or alcohol, they are becoming warriors again, walking with pride, prayer, and responsibility. This is what happens when you give someone not just a bed, but a place to belong, a place to serve, and a place to remember who they are. This is recovery in Native communities, and it's happening right now. Here and on Fort Berthold, we're not just following a model, we're creating our own. The MHA Sober Living program is for our people coming out of treatment, jail, or homelessness. We welcome them, we house them, we walk with them through relapse, recovery, reunification, and rebuilding. Our clinical supportive housing takes it even further. Access to clinical counseling, targeted case management, medication monitoring, access to treatment for opioid use disorder, life skills, and above all, dignity. This isn't charity, this is sovereignty in action, and we're seeing real, measurable impact. Among our 89 guests today, the average survival length is 338 days. That's nearly a full year on average that our guests have stayed clean and committed. This is remarkable, especially considering that the national average relapse rate is estimated between 40 and 60% per year. Half of all residents have been sober over 6 months, which is a critical milestone in recovery. Even the shortest length, just 23 days, is being honored and supported from day one. We're defying the odds. They said we couldn't make it a week, we're making it a year. Healing isn't just about staying clean, it's about building forward. 51% of our guests are working or going to school. Another 42% of those not yet employed are actively engaged in treatment services. And 10 guests are doing both, working or studying while also attending treatment services. This is recovery with momentum, with direction, and with hope. At MHA Sober Living, we don't just help people get sober, we help them rise. One of the most powerful things we can do is employ former guests, individuals who once walked through our doors, broken, afraid, and unsure. We give them a chance to come back as house managers, mentors, and leaders. Think about that for a moment. Someone who once needed help, now becoming the help. That's not just employment, that's restoration. These are men and women who now open the doors every morning, make the coffee, set the tone in morning meditations, walk others through relapse, conflict, family reunification, and their first paychecks. And we don't stop there, we build them up. We give them workforce development training. We enroll them in peer support certification programs. We help them develop life skills, financial literacy, and vocational direction. We create pathways towards careers in behavioral health, case management, tribal programs, and cultural leadership. Because we're not just creating house managers, we're creating future Native leaders. SAMHSA has long recognized employment is a pillar of recovery. According to SAMHSA, individuals in early recovery who are given the opportunity for employment are less likely to relapse and more likely to achieve long-term stability. They also state that peer support workers with lived experience are vital in behavioral health recovery systems, offering authenticity and connection that traditional systems often lack. These roles reduce stigma, create meaning, and build community trust. In other words, what we are doing at MHA Sober Living is a national best practice. We are putting theory into action and it's working. One of our former guests came to us just out of jail. Not long after, he went back. But working closely with federal probation and with compassion and trust, he was allowed back into our sober living program. At that time, he had no family left that would answer his calls. He had no work history, no direction. He started with what he had, his willingness. He swept floors, he chopped wood for sweat, he stayed sober and he showed up. And slowly, day by day, he led by example. Today he's no longer just a guest. Today he is a lead recovery coach. And this week, today, he is celebrating 3 full years of continuous sobriety. He has a new truck, he has his own place, and he leads our team of recovery coaches and peer support staff. This fall, we're encouraging him to go back to school because we see not just who he was, but who he is becoming. And this is what it looks like with employment with meaning, recovery with purpose, and healing that ripples out from one individual to the entire community. This work that we do is not easy, but we hold it as sacred. We are not just saving lives, we are restoring generations. We are answering the prayers of our ancestors by helping our people live to see a sober tomorrow. People ask me a lot, what does success look like? To me, success isn't always clean or perfect. It's not just who completes the program the first time, who never stumbles. To me, success is when someone walks off or gets discharged, and weeks or months later they come back through our doors and say, I'm ready now. That's not a failure. That's a seed finally breaking through the soil. That courage, that surrender, and that's growth. Because sometimes healing takes time. And when they come back, not with shame, but with willingness, we meet them with open arms. That moment right there is success. Not because they fell, but because they chose to rise. So I ask you, support these programs. Fund them. Speak about them. Send people to them. Stand behind them. Because every bed in sober living is a chance at redemption. Every house of recovery is a house of prayer. Every healed person is a ripple through our entire community. Let us be the generation that says enough. Enough death, enough silence. Let us be the generation that chooses healing. Thank you.